Okay, there, can you hear us okay?
And loud and clear.
All right, so we're not sure if Jim is coming here or if because the email just says he was going to introduce from Dave.
I believe he's probably going to be doing it via Zoom because I just saw him a couple seconds ago. So
Okay.
I saw him walk past.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. In fact, yeah, I think Jim did send an email and said he was just going to do the introduction. So I'm pretty sure he's joining virtual as far as I know.
Okay, because we just didn't see him here. So what we're going to do here is at one point, we're going to have to flip things. There might be a brief moment. We have to go to Sarah and Brittany, who are going to be doing the experiment.
Okay. So
because we don't backfeed with noise and all of that when they start and doing, we're all in the same room so that we could get the timing down, but we couldn't use the same thing because of trying to flip it and turn it and all of that.
Okay.
So I'm joining right now on this.
Yep, I see it.
So we'll have them muted and camera
Recording in progress.
Oh,
And that's what we were trying to avoid.
so if you mute the second Lisa, there you go.
Okay, so now you're on mute. So still do it.
I'm muted.
Did you see if you could touch it? Click on it.
Okay, does that look good? No.
It's not muted. Muted. Now.
Okay, wait, I was muted.
And my camera? And your camera. Lisa, you might have to turn your camera off.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Can you hear us okay from over here on the
Yep.
mic?
So if I'm speaking over here, I'm presenting over here currently like it is right now. It sounds good?
Yep.
Sound
Great.
great.
Dave, you can hear me all right also?
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, so we'll just use that. We're trying to work out so that Sarah can be on when she goes to do her experiment. So we've had to experiment here. Science in action.
Did one of you have a presentation you wanted to kind of test out real quick also?
I sent the updated to you, David. Did you get it?
Yes, I got it. Shannon, you should have it too. Just came like 10 minutes ago.
It did, because we realized when we looked at it this morning, oh no, we had it set up for when we were in December. And we're in January, so we were quickly making that.
It's definitely not summer. It's starting to snow again.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We're down in the lower level, so we can't see anything.
Yeah. You only get to see it when you emerge, right?
Into whatever we emerge into.
Get your camera off. So we have to be super quiet when you're talking though, so that it doesn't go
Yes.
to our screen, right? Well, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, now here's the power. Look, we have no video here. Maybe we should do that one of the little, like, new, this type of graduate. I'm assuming.
Oh, mention it, yeah.
Yeah, we give students.
All right, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Hold up.
Okay. Perfect. And when
Dave, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm not getting any sound.
Oh,
We
well, we
can
can hear
hear
you.
Yeah.
Did you turn your audio on?
and where are we showing the presentation? At which point, Dave?
Lisa, when do you want to do it?
After all the introductions, when Jim's done talking and he throws it over to us, I'll introduce Liz, and then that's when we'll start going through the slide presentation.
Can you hear us now, Jim?
I can, yes.
Good. Okay, Shannon, has John Weidenhammer signed up or logged in? I'm guessing he's traveling back from Florida, so
Yeah, not yet.
Jim, we may go from me to you,
Okay,
okay?
sure.
That'll give you guys more time and less of John and I gossiping.
Put some housekeeping here.
All
right.
You might want to hear it.
It's not good gossip. Okay, so we got some time. I think we got everything working. You guys are all set up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do a very brief introduction, thanking everybody and telling them to stay warm and out of the snow. And then Jen, I'll do a quick introduction of you. And turn it over to you to introduce the rest of the group. They're going to be doing the presentations. We'll go through all that. One of the things I'll do early on is remind people that if they have questions or comments, to submit them through the chat function. When we get to after the end of the presentation, I'll go to those questions and comments to the extent we have time left to do something. Share them with everybody and have you guys respond to them. Hopefully we get through all of them. If we don't, I'll send them to you, Lisa, for you guys to get responses back. I'll tell everybody we're recording this. We'll make it available. We'll make it available to you guys. And any questions or comments that don't get responded to, we will share with the entire group.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Great. What I think I'd like to do is just hand it over to Lisa. And Lisa, you're there with everyone. You can do the introductions if that's okay.
That's fine.
All right, great.
I'm planning to do a big drum roll for you, Jim. You know, we're going to stand, applaud.
I'll so you want me to just talk about the original idea?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know,
Jim, in your original video that you had recorded, you talked about personal introduction, what inspired you to open the Reading Science Center, and then what obstacles did you have to overcome? What obstacles did you overcome in opening the center?
Inspiration, obstacles. When did I send you that?
It was the original one that Kaylee had recorded of you. So it was a personal introduction, who you are, when you started it, what you do. Personal introduction, what inspired you to open the Reading Science Center? And then the third question was, what obstacles did you have to overcome to open a center?
Great. And how much time do I have? About 5 minutes to do that?
Yeah,
Or
take 5 minutes or so. I think we want to show some pictures, Jim, of you lifting all those things off the truck and taking them into the basement.
and laying on the heating pad the following day?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, about 5 minutes, so that's fine.
Okay.
And Jim, if you could address the mission on the first slide, like when the slide comes up, they will have already heard it from you, so people can just read it in case they came in late. But if you could just like end on what our mission is.
So I'm also reading from slides.
Well, you don't have to read from the slide. You can use your own, our mission, put it in your words, and then throw it to us. That way, just in case anyone signs in late, then when they see it on the slide, they can read and we'll just briefly, my concern is, does everyone sign in on time? I don't want someone to miss that.
We will have people sign in late. It's almost guaranteed.
Okay.
If history is any example of what we've had in the past, so.
I'm just wondering, like, how long the total thing is.
Well, you seem excited today. We already have quite a few people waiting.
Really good.
All right.
Good.
Yeah. How long do you think I should try to keep?
And we have several more minutes to go before we get there. You want to try the experiments to see if they work? No.
I've already done the research. We're all good. I did a lot of playing.
Lisa Meredith on her phone. Nice. Okay, so you can see our screen. I don't need to turn our screen off. It's okay.
You're good, so it's up to you, we can introduce you from there, and then you can.
I
turn
like
off
the idea of us
screen,
standing
Or
behind
you
you.
can stand behind us and then have your screen turned off.
But then we need to not talk and not make any noise. Because can't make any noise. Even when you guys were whispering, it switched to your screen. Okay.
Because we're not muted. So like, can I go
But
ahead?
we're
and-
using that
We're
as,
using that. This is
so
a
we don't
better
have to
mic.
switch audios too.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have to be.
Can I do a full screen now and like get it ready? so-
Sure, do your full screen.
Is that right? So then I don't have to do any of this later. And
Nope, that's it, because they're gonna use our microphone and we don't need to.
shouldn't our camera be off? No, it can just be on the
That
back.
can be on the-
Right. Okay,
Because it's what someone
and
says.
then when we introduce us, we'll just,
Because
like at the beginning of the stand here.
Yes.
Dave, I'm gonna start letting people in about 5 till.
Okay, sounds good. We can get,
What you guys are now, because you're perfectly centered up there. You just look small. Okay, that's smart for a second, into the screenshot. Okay, it didn't work. I tried to take a screenshot, but my computer wouldn't do it in Zoom.
yeah, I don't know.
Unless we are talking. No, because you're muted, so you're never gonna see your big screen, you're always gonna see ours because you're. But even though everyone else sees ours.
She could hear us too.
Oh,
that's right.
It's not gonna work.
So you're gonna have to mute some.
Never have to mute yours. How do we mute ours?
Wait till they're unmuted.
You gotta tap, just tap.
Oh, I see it come
up.
I have a Zoom meeting at 12 that
Okay.
I only care half about.
Hey Dave, good morning. We all set to go?
We are, John. Wasn't sure whether you're going to make it, so I'm gonna start. I'll introduce you and have you turn it over to Jim.
Okay, super.
Okay, good. You still
Super, yeah.
down? You still down south?
Yeah, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna be headed to the airport. So
Okay.
I'll be back later today.
It's little tiny snowflakes, but nothing much yet.
Good. Well, hopefully I can wade through it. Hi, everybody, STEM people.
Hi, John.
There, is it off? There.
Oop. Hey, Shannon.
We're getting back.
I think Shannon's starting to let people in.
Okay, super.
Okay, now there's no feed. Okay, can you hear us without feedback now?
Yes.
All right. Technical difficulties at the last moment.
Life is like
We got
that.
problem solving.
Want to welcome everybody. We're going to get started here in a couple minutes. But thank you for joining us. And this is one of those days when it's nice to have Zoom meetings instead of having to go out in what looks like it's trying to snow.
So we're probably gonna have to flip flop that when it's our turn to present. Your volume down, our volume up.
The fun days. Fifteen seconds to go. I think you're right. Wasn't sure which shirt.
Purple's this year's shirt. I did the same thing. I was like, purple's this year's shirt, but the green one's instead of giant, really big. So big.
Said it wouldn't have looked right. I know.
Okay, we have people still joining us, so we're going to another minute or so, and then we'll get started with the program.
All right, thank you. That's what I was hoping that. I can do it. Just tell me when to.
Okay, we will get started now. I'm Dave Myers. On behalf of the Berks Alliance, I want to welcome you all to this, our community spotlight, our first one of the year 2022. So happy New Year to everybody. This is a series that we started to supplement the community forums that we have been sponsoring, Berks Alliance, to show shine lights on important things happening in our community that need to be more broadly shared and more broadly known. Today's spotlight is going to be on the Reading Science Center, and we'll get started with the program in a minute. I want to cover some quick ground rules. We're going to ask you, if you're not presenting, to mute your microphones so we don't get a lot of feedback and a lot of noise. We will be recording this event. We will share that recording with everybody who registered for the event today. We're also posted on the Berks Alliance website, and we will be sharing it with BCTV. So you have a lot of venues to be able to watch it. We ask that you use the chat function in Zoom down at the bottom to submit your comments and questions. When we get done with the presentation, we'll open it up to questions and comments. I'll read the ones that we've had submitted. If we don't get through all the questions and comments by the end of the program, we will share them with our presenters and then share their responses back with everyone who, again, registered for the event. So again, thank you all for joining us. We will get started right now. I'm going to introduce John Weidenhammer, who is the chair of the Berks Alliance, and John will do the beginning of the introductions and the formal welcome. John, to you.
Thanks so much, Dave. Good afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year, as Dave said. Welcome to our Spotlight series. We're really excited about this addition to the Berks Alliance communication programs. And on behalf of the investors in the Berks Alliance, I just want to welcome everybody to this program. Just by way of a reminder, you can find this program once we post it at the Berks Alliance website, which is at www.berksalliance.org. Dave does really such a great job of setting these up. So Dave, thanks for all the work behind the scenes to make this happen. I also want to thank all of our presenters and panelists, because I know that a lot of work went into the preparation for this program today. So I'll turn it over to Jim Sinelli, who is the chair of the Reading Science Center, and let Jim kick off the program. But again, thanks everybody for being with us today. And I just want to say too, before I turn it over to Jim, that our regular community conversations happen on the third Thursday of the month, beginning at 11:30. And we've really got just an absolutely super lineup of programs for 2022. So be sure to tune in and look for those invites that'll come to you via email. So Jim, take it away.
Thanks, John. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm just going to spend a few minutes going over the background, the history of the start of the Reading Science Center, and then hand it over to our executive director, Lisa, and her great staff. First of all, I'm an engineer. I'm an environmental engineer. I'm the president of Liberty Environmental. We are an environmental consulting and engineering firm headquartered in downtown Reading, about 30 employees. And I co-founded the company with my two partners back in 2004. My inspiration for starting the Reading Science Center, well, obviously, as an engineer, I have a great interest in science and technology. I would take my sons to the Lancaster Science Factory. My company has an office in Lancaster, and it's located directly across the street from the Lancaster Science Factory. I knew somebody on the board. She suggested I take the kids, and I took them there a few times around the ages of 8, 9, 10. And I just loved the fact that I would get 2 or 3 really good quality hours of entertainment there. And they were not in front of a TV. They were not with their mobile devices. And I started to do some research into science centers, and it's very interesting that the real reason that the push for science centers that have been popping up in the country for 20 years, and the whole STEM movement is really based on our country's economy. There's a really telling statistic. The Department of Labor has stated that 50% of our country's future economic growth is based on the science and technology sector, yet only 5% of our population is employed in this sector. That's an awful, awful important sector for us to be focused on. And if we don't have enough children and students getting into majors in science and engineering and getting into those careers, we stand to really, there could be a significant struggle internationally, especially as China is growing, and they are, in the last 20 years, they are now graduating 5 times the amount of engineers that they were 20 years ago. So it's important to our national economic competitive stance. Also, like I said, it's science and it's learning, but it's also entertainment. And from a perspective of being a Berks Countyan, we want as many family entertainment venues as we can in our area. So I thought it was an amenity that our county was really, really missing compared to Lancaster County and the Harrisburg area and Lehigh County. And finally, we have a pretty substantial underserved population in the city of Reading. We have a lot of young students that don't have the ability to drive to Allentown, drive to Lancaster or to Philadelphia and go to a science center. So to have one locally, I thought would be a great benefit to our underserved inner city population. So around, I'd say, late 2017 is when I thought, well, if nobody else has done it, I'll go ahead and take a crack at starting a science museum in Berks County. there were obstacles. You know, it was a slow start. I got started researching and planning. I'm an engineer and I know how to run a business, but I don't know how to run a museum. I had never started a nonprofit, and those bring a lot of different challenges than running a private company. So I just grew on knowledge from a lot of other individuals who are in the museum and science center industry. We got a couple of amazing donations from the Science Museum of Minnesota, close to $750,000 worth of used exhibits, as well as great mentoring from them. We have a wind tunnel and a one-of-a-kind cell lab. That's a $500,000 value. 7 wet biology experiments that no one, not the Franklin Institute, and not the Lancaster Science Center or anybody in the area has. So although we're small, through the generosity of other science centers and individuals and foundations, of course, we were really able to start small, but I think very impactful. We opened in October of 2020, 10 months into a global pandemic. That didn't make things easy when you're starting a hands-on science museum for children. But we were able to overcome that. Another challenge that we had to face is we were the new kids on the block. We had to get our name out there. And that was a challenge from a fundraising standpoint, obviously, as well as attracting volunteers. And we're very reliant on volunteers to help keep the Science Center up and running, and to attract visitors. So slowly but surely, we've been able to gain recognition in the community, you know, the parents, the teachers, businesses, and the foundations. And at this point, having been open for over a year, I'm very, very pleased with what we've been able to achieve. Like I said, we have great staff. We've been awarded some great grants. One notably from the Georgie Family Foundation, substantial grant that allowed us to hire two staff, and we have an amazing Sisters in STEM program, which I'm sure Lisa will be sharing. So that gives you a little bit of the background, how the idea started and how we got to where we are today. And I think I've spoken enough. I'm going to hand it over now to Lisa Meredith Unrath, and she's got a presentation. She's, like I said, our executive director. She'll introduce our amazing staff. And so take it away, Lisa.
Good morning, or good afternoon, and thank you very much for having us. So I am Lisa Meredith Unrath, the executive director. Behind me on this side is Sarah Troy. She is our program director. Next to her is our lead teacher, Brittany Potter, and sitting next to me is Liz Lally, who is our volunteer coordinator. So with the 4 of us, one being full-time, the rest being part-time, we are here every day trying to build the museum, as Jim said, the center, and having people understand that we are a hands-on center that exists solely to foster the love of science through exciting experiential STEM education for the Reading community and Berks County. We really want to make sure that people understand that we are here for children as young as age 2 going up through middle school. So we are hands-on with 45 exhibits. We have a PowerPoint that we're going to go through that you can look at as we give some background details. When we're done, we're going to turn the presentation over to Sarah and Brittany, and they are going to do a live experiment so you can see firsthand what we do here at the center. So if we could start the presentation. So our welcome, this is our logo. So when you see it around town, if you can say, hey, we know where that's at, and it's at 645 Penn Street, we welcome you here.
Lisa, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Yep.
They're good.
So, sorry, we did not realize that we were muted on our end. Science is a wonderful thing when technology works. We're running two systems here, so we'll reintroduce you later. Sitting next to me is Liz Lally, our executive director. I'm sorry. So now we all have ourselves by ourselves. I'm the executive director. She's a volunteer coordinator. And the Reading Science Center exists to foster the love of science through exciting and experiential STEM education. We use both formal and informal science education. In a little bit, you're going to meet our program director, Sarah, and our lead teacher, Brittany, who will be doing a hands-on experiment for you. So you'll see them in a few. Okay, for some reason, my computer keeps wanting to mute me. If we can move to the next slide, because thank you. So we're open every Saturday from 11 to 5, and starting in February, we are going to be open on Tuesdays from 10 to 3. At this point, I'm going to turn over the presentation to Liz.
So in our center, it is a lower level. When you arrive at the Reading Science Center, you will enter through 2 doors on Penn Street, right in between Salsa Burrito and Dunkin' Donuts. You'll come down our stairs and you'll be welcomed into an amazing space that has 45 plus hands-on exhibits. Those hands-on exhibits are free to explore at your own pace with your family. So as the families come in, we'll check them in, and then they have free reign over the space to just explore at their own will. We do have annual memberships. An individual membership is $35. If you are an educator, you can get a discount for a yearly membership. We also have our family memberships, which are $75 starting in 2022. That includes 2 adults and 3 children. Any of the additional adults, you can add on grandparents for $10 an adult. In 2022, we are also excited to offer parking validations. So if you park at the Doubletree Garage and bring your ticket into the Science Center, upon the completion of your stay at the Science Center, we can validate your parking ticket and you'll get up to 3 hours of free parking. The space of the Reading Science Center, here's some great pictures of kiddos playing. It's all hands-on, like we said, so they're really learning through exploration and just learning by failure, trying and then seeing if things work and moving forward. We have 7,000 square feet space. It's all on one floor. So as a parent, I love it. I can bring all 3 children and I can see my children throughout the space. We have lots of events here at the Reading Science Center. We just completed our first winter camp. That was a huge success. It was 4 days over the winter break, and we're excited to use what we learned to offer summer camps this summer. One of our biggest programs that we have here at the Reading Science Center is our Sisters in STEM program. Our Sisters in STEM program is run through a grant, as Jim touched base on, through the Georgie Family Foundation. It is a free after-school program for girls in 4th and 5th grade. We have done 2 sessions so far. The 2 sessions that we have run, we did with the Reading School District. So all of our 4th and 5th grade girls in the past have been from the Reading School District. Now this spring, starting in February, we are opening to any school district in Berks County. If you know a 4th or 5th grade girl who is interested in science, please head to our website. There's a Sisters in STEM tab on the Reading Science Center website where you can apply and sign up for the Sisters in STEM program. The Sisters in STEM program meets this spring. It's going to meet every Wednesday from 4 to 5:30. Each week we introduce the girls to a new area of STEM. In that weekly meeting, we introduce the girls to a real life scientist who either comes virtually or in person and tells the girls about their journey into STEM. Then we do a hands-on experiment in that area of STEM, and the girls also have time to play in the center and work their way through the exhibits. We do have some other after-school programming as well. We are partnered with the Holleran Center through Alvernia. We go into 2 different elementary schools and a middle school once a week, where Solar Sarah and Blizzard Brit bring amazing hands-on education and experiments to the kids. They bring all of the supplies, they set it up. These kids have an amazing time at their after-school programming, learning all different areas of STEM. We also offer field trips. Field trips have kind of been on the back burner during COVID, but as we come out of COVID, we're excited to have everything in place to welcome schools back into our center. The field trips will offer all of the center, all of the hands-on exhibits, and then also a hands-on experiment in the classroom as well, with something that the kids will take home. Birthday parties at the center. We do have a classroom where we are right now off of the main center, so that in the classroom, the parents can set up cake. They can bring, we have 3 different packages, one where we supply everything, all the way down to the parents bring everything in themselves. So with each birthday package, you get access to the center, all the exhibits, and also a hands-on experiment with a take-home. Another thing that we're offering our community is to rent out our classroom for business meetings. We have a large TV with Zoom and Google Meet capabilities. We have seating for up to 25 people. So you can come in, have your business meeting, bring food, bring drink in our classroom, and then as a team building exercise, go out and unleash your inner child and explore all of the exhibits and have fun with your coworkers, exploring the center and delving into science with them.
Also, if you're looking for networking experiences, we could accommodate those. So in our past, we were talking about who we are, and we really grew out of Jim's first inception and then really taking on what the community needs. So with things that we're different in a lot of ways, because one, we're hands-on, but we can also curtail what we're doing or grow it for what your needs are. That was what Jim really foresaw for us when he first started, is that we were meeting the needs of the community and also the at-large work community. So who we are is myself and Jim. If we go to the next slide, this is from our first birthday bash. There is Sarah Troy. She was at one of our outreach programs in the city. Then we have Elizabeth Lally, who's sitting next to me, as I said, is our volunteer coordinator. And then Brittany Potter, who is our lead teacher. So we're all involved in the day-to-day hands-on activities. Our interns, we have, through the Georgie Family Foundation grant, we actually are able to have 3 interns each semester from local colleges. We rotate through Alvernia, Albright, Brack, and Kutztown and Penn State Berks students. It's been a great opportunity to take science majors, education majors, business majors, and they've been a huge asset to us here at the Reading Science Center. We also partner with Workforce, and we have we've had up to 3 interns through the Workforce Center as well, which has been great. And here are 3 of our standout interns from the fall: Mackenzie, Kaylee, and Tiana. The interns, as they help us grow the center, they also act as mentors for the Sisters in STEM program. So they participate in each after-school program with the Sisters in STEM. They get to know the girls. They have breakout sessions with the girls and talk to the girls about their own experiences. It's a great opportunity. So how to help. If you would like to help, you can come visit us, bring your family, bring your friends at the Reading Science Center during our open hours. Also, we are always looking for volunteers to help us work the center, volunteers to help us grow the center, volunteers to be on our committees that we have. We have a marketing committee, an intern committee, and an education committee. There's lots of different ways for individuals to get involved with the Reading Science Center
not just during our open hours on Saturday.
So this screen will be here for you when you come back to look at it. It tells you all the different ways that you can volunteer and reaching out to Liz Lally at the center. One of the other big ways that you can support us is through donations. As Jim started out by telling you, we are a nonprofit. So we are always looking for donations. You can donate directly through our website, or if you're a company and you would like to talk to us about ways that you could better support us, either through the purchase and sponsoring of exhibits, or naming a certain area of the museum, or supporting us, if we go to the next slide, which is where we're going to finish our presentation here, is with the Whiskey Experiment 2022 that's coming up. Last year, we raised a little over $12,000. This is our signature fundraising event that's held each fall. This fall, as you see, we'll be having it on September 16th. It's a Friday evening, starting at 6 p.m. and going to 10 p.m. We will have a special VIP section time, and it's a great way to come out and try some new whiskey, some new spirits, get to meet all the people who have been involved over the last year at the exhibit, or I'm sorry, at the center. So at this time, we're going to turn things over. As I tell you about how to contact us, Brittany and Sarah will be showing up on the screen, and they should be able to then give you what you are hands-on experience. Take it away.
Bear with us for a moment as we're changing the volume over.
Joe, if you go up a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no feedback. We don't have any feedback. Okay. All right, so as they said, I go by Solar System Sarah, and I go by Blizzard Brit. So we are constantly developing hands-on experiences that we do in the classroom. Are you guys still on the video? Do you see Lisa and Liz as the main video? Do you see us? Okay, just checking. Sorry, technical difficulties, I saw them, so. All right, so we're constantly looking for new and exciting things to excite children around the areas of science. So we have for you today a little exploration around dry ice, which is a fan favorite with our students. We've done this as a demonstration with the younger kiddos. As they get older, some of our middle school kids, with the right precautions and safety measures, it's really exciting to allow them to dive in and have fun with this exploration. So it also is, as Jim said, you have the kids come in and say, oh, dry ice, I know all about dry ice. I saw a video about it. And it's always fun to say, yeah, but it's really much more cooler to do it yourself. So let's get into it and let's do it ourselves. We have some dry ice with us. Thank you, Brittany, for the reminder of the safety goggles. So we have some dry ice here, and we have the kids explore, make some observations as a scientist. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What do you see? How can you describe it? Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Is it a gas? And we go into all the science surrounding what is made up. It's actually carbon dioxide, right, in the frozen. It's negative 109 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's hence the reason why we have our gloves on, to protect our hands. And dry ice, unlike ice that we're familiar with, goes right from a solid to a gas, and that's called sublimation. So introducing new terms to the students, always something we're focused on. So we also have another substance. We'd have them do all the same things, observe. What do you see? What does it feel like on the outside? Oh, it feels a little warm. Always clear. Encouraging scientific tools, wafting, good safety feature. We're teaching them to waft, not much of an odor. So how warm is it? We could use our scientific tool thermometer, sometimes introducing tools, sometimes reinforcing tools, how to use them. So we have this clear liquid, not much odor. I wonder what would happen when we mix these two together. Constantly encouraging curiosity about the world around us. Asking them for a hypothesis. What do you think we might see, hear, smell, feel? Once we all go through our hypothesis, then comes the fun part where we get to do the experiment. So same liquid that we have in here, we have in our graduated cylinder. So we do the countdown of 3, 3, 2, 1. And the oohs and ahs. So we have this warm liquid, which is in fact water, and it helps it sublimate faster. So we have this sublimation, we see a little bit of water vapor that is coming, and it's a heavier gas. So you see it come out and down the side, a heavier gas than the air around us. So oohs and ahs, always a fan favorite. Let's take it another step forward. Let's add over here, same thing, we have that water, but we have a pH indicator. Indicator tells us something. Indicator tells us whether we have an acid or a base. We would go into the science of what colors, the level of the pH, base being a higher level, acid being a lower level pH. This is a pH indicator. We would do some observing. What color do you see? Blue. Looks blue. I need to take off this blue. Feels room temperature, I'd say. Any odor to it?
I don't think so.
Not much of an odor.
I'll
So-
add in quickly, that when we are working with a group of students, it always depends on the age of the students, but we give them their own tools. For a demo, we're using larger stuff made of glass. When we work with kids groups, we usually give them their own graduated cylinder. We have them play with the liquid so they learn how to use a pipette. And again, like Solar System Sarah said, use as many scientific tools as possible, thermometers and things that they may already know about, new things like a pipette, just constantly reinforcing the science behind what we're doing and how to be a scientist.
So we have our pH indicator that we're gonna add to just plain water. We make a hypothesis about
gonna
what we
explode.
think. Ooh, good hypothesis. I love
That's what
that
kids
hypothesis.
always say, it's gonna explode.
So 3, 2, 1, we add it. No blue color, still blue in color, not much of an excitement, but so I wonder what would happen.
Yeah, why didn't,
If we add dry ice to our liquid, I wonder what would happen.
go ahead.
Okay, so we make our hypothesis, of course.
It's gonna explode.
Let's test out our hypothesis. 3, 2, 1. So we had on the basic side, our water was a little bit on the basic side. As soon as we added the dry ice, that carbon dioxide is mixing with the water, and we actually are forming a carbonic acid. So you saw it change from that higher basic to that yellow color, which indicated that it is more on the acid side. And always add a little bit more fun. Again, going through our observations, saying we have this liquid. Well, it looks like water. If I think it's water, what will happen when we add it to our carbonic acid that we have right now? So make a hypothesis. We would go through that. Let's test it out. 3, 2, 1. So it went back to that blue. So it had to be something that was a little bit more basic. And in fact, it was sodium hydroxide that we added that brought it back to the basic side of the pH scale. And if we wait just long enough, that carbon dioxide constantly mixing in there brings it through the pH scale. We have a little bit more basic because it's that lovely green color that we have right now. And the longer it interacts, the more acidic it would go. So again, one of our fan favorite, an example of something we do here at the Reading Science Center in the classroom. But we're really committed to providing a wide range of scientific experiences, from biology to environmental science to and having the kids lead a lot of the exploration through questions and curiosity. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of our fun that we have here while learning about science.
To help kids explore their curiosity, we usually give them more tools and guide them through changing one variable in the experiment. And that's a good way to let them, again, lead their exploration and learn by doing, so.
For example, with our sisters in STEM, we had the girls say, oh, well, what happens if we add food coloring and change the color of the water? Does that affect the color of the gas that's produced? We said, I don't know, let's figure it out. So we did the experiment, and in fact, does not change the color of the gas.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And it says I'm muted and I should.
No, you're back on.
Okay, on my end, it looked like it was muted. So Sarah and Brittany do a fabulous job with this on
Should give them a round of
Saturday.
applause.
Yeah. On Saturdays, we do a classroom activity. This one might be one that you see. If you go to our website, we do have a calendar of events up that tells you what you would see or what you'd be able to participate in the classroom with your visit when you come here. So we really do try to encourage everything to be hands-on, self-guided, family interactive. And the idea here is that the parents are along for the ride with their child, because if they see the child's excitement, they're better able to support their child in going into STEM activities, going into STEM fields. As you could see when they were doing their exhibit, we have pictures around our classroom of what does a scientist look like. And the ladies do a fabulous job of really encouraging that scientific inquiry. So when you're ready for questions, then so are we.
Okay, we have a couple questions and I might turn it over to the audience to ask them directly, but we had a question about whether or not you allow childcare centers to come, and what would the fee be for them to bring their students with them?
Right, so we do offer down to for the childcare. I said we have an early learning center for 2-year-olds. The price is $10 per child. We can always work with organizations on what they would need for pricing, depending on the number of children that they would have. And when you do a field trip, it's not just the the center that you get to see, but it's also the classroom activity that the children get to participate in.
Could you talk a little bit more about the Sisters in STEM and how it works and who all's been involved in it?
Absolutely. Here's Sarah.
Talk a little bit more about it. Sorry, I was removing the dry ice because of the sound that was happening. Yeah, so our Sisters in STEM, we are going into our 3rd session. And it's geared towards 4th and 5th grade girls who have an interest in science. We meet on Wednesdays right after school from 4 to 5:30. Starting in February, it's the first Wednesday of February. And it really is not like you don't need to be committed to every Wednesday. Of course, we want them to come every Wednesday, but if there's something that arises and there's a Wednesday that you can't make it, obviously that's fine. But yeah, they come in and we have a presenter, either virtually or in person, depending on how things go, that is a female scientist who tells their story about their journey in science. In the past, it has been such great role modeling for these girls to say, sometimes we don't know where we're headed, and I ended up in science this way. So it's been exciting to see those relationships form with the girls. And then
Go ahead.
And then they have time to experience science. Some area of our many areas of science, trying to figure out what do they like? Like we always say, I love biology. Biology, not really Brittany's favorite.
I love earth science.
She's more the earth science. So also encouraging them to figure out what it is that they're interested in and want to explore more of. And then working together as females to give them that confidence booster that they might need moving forward in this field, and working on tools and tips and how to
work with different challenges that come their way.
I'd say camaraderie between us
Camaraderie.
as a group, that, the title of it, Sisters in STEM, we try to build that with each session. So it's different than what they experience in school, right? We're in our close-knit sisterly group. So, and once a child goes through one session, they can come back for more and more sessions. They don't have to say, well, I already did it once, now I'm done with that.
So
They
we're
can
done.
stick with us as long as they want, which is awesome.
Speaking to the outreach of the Sisters in STEM, we're through the Giorgio Family Foundation, we are actually able to offer this to double the amount of girls we did last session. So we are now welcoming 24 girls in this spring session. So we are adamant about trying to get the word out of that this is a free after-school program for these girls. Also, as we said, we like to bring in real life scientists, is what we call them to the girls, real life scientists that are females to represent their field. So if you know a female in Berks County who is in any of the STEM fields who would like to come in and speak to these girls, that would also, we're also always looking for those.
And you can
That's
always
great.
reach out
Thank you.
to us. Yeah, you can reach out to us through our webpage. We have an info@readingscience.org that you can reach out to us at.
Great, thank you. That was my next question, because I know that there are people on this program and people connected to people on this program that would be interested in talking and sharing their experience. So that's really, really great. Can you talk a little bit more about the cell lab and what it is, how it works?
Right, so we have it's the NEAC Cell Lab, and it is wet biology. So the families get to come in and work together. They are self-guided actually through a computer program. So there's a screen at each of the centers that goes and walks them through. And so if you are at the saliva where you get to break down, we use synthetic saliva because we are in the middle of a pandemic, and it will walk you through the steps. So it tells you what step to do. You do it. When you're ready to go to the next step, you hit next. There's a little ball like mouse that you hit, and it walks you through. So the idea is that the children get to do with their families, again, because we want that whole experience. They get to experience what it is that they can do in biology in different experiments that in a traditional classroom isn't going to happen for a myriad of reasons. One is not every school can be equipped with those types of activities. The cost, the manpower, and just the amount of time that can be devoted to science when you're dividing it up through the day and all the other academics. So it's really a way for the children and the families to experience biology in a more personal way.
Okay, Jim, I'm trying to get Jim the ability to.
I have a
share
good,
his
I
screen.
have a good photo I'd love to share if I can, but the benches each take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. So the cell lab is a little unique compared to the rest of the exhibits throughout the Science Center. The benches include mystery microbes, antimicrobials, cheek cells. As Lisa, I believe you mentioned, we substitute now onion cells for cheek cells, DNA, enzymes, and chromosomes. So, and it's geared for some of the exhibits are 10 years old and up, others are 8 years old and up. And at any given time, we have, I think, 3 of the exhibits running. It does keep a lot to keep these running because there are a lot of materials that need to be supplied to them. And we do have this in a separate part of the Science Center with a separate entrance and exit. But am I able to share the screen? No. Come down and see it. It really is, like I mentioned before, something 100% unique. No other Science Center in our area has it. So although we're relatively small at 45 exhibits and activity areas, this is really a feather in our cap, and we were so fortunate to have it donated to us.
Cool. Do you guys have any relationships with Berks Nature or with the Science Research Institute at Albright? There just seems to be some logical connections that would make sense.
We do. So our Sisters in STEM program, our girls are eligible for scholarships to attend SRI as the next step in their journey. Is there anything more, Sarah, you can add to that?
Just that scholarship, I'm not sure that will maintain itself through, but we're working closely with SRI to say, here is the next level of science excitement. We're hoping to maybe take the girls on a field trip there this year, just so that they have that reference point to look to. And always talking with Berks Nature, because of course we love to have the outdoors come indoors too. Unfortunately, where we're located, a little bit tougher for us. So,
but yes, we have met with Berks Nature and talked with them about how we can move our programming forward in doing things in conjunction together. So as they're growing and going through their changes and renovations, and we go through our expanding of our services, you will see connections there in the next year.
Cool. Any other questions or comments that people want to share? Other than everybody was really excited, would love to see you do the demonstration again.
Well, come see us on Saturdays. We have those things. And as I said, if you come to our fundraiser in September to the whiskey experiment, Sarah will also, and Brittany will be there doing some experiments. So they have assured me we won't be blowing up anything because we will be in the double chair. I'm not sure Craig would be too thrilled with us blowing up things.
we find different ways to explode things. Explosion of color, explosion of sound, different types.
We need to get John Weidenhammer back on because he owns a building that hosts the Reading Distiller Guild, just down the street from you guys.
Yeah, that is very true. And, you know, we're always open to coming to events so that people can invite us to be in and show our stuff. We've gone to some events during this past fall downtown Reading. We were at the Reading Royals block party where we were able to do some hands-on experiments for the children. We were at the Mayor Moran's holiday Halloween that he was there.
Right.
And then we also did activities at the Christmas parade. At the end, they had tables and things at the Goggle Works. So we're always trying to get out into the community also, so we can do and show off what we are doing here.
Well, and we do have Levi Landis on in the program. So I was going to ask a question about the Goggle Works, whether there's any relationship there, because I think that could be interesting as well.
Yes, we also we work with the Launchbox as we have a 3D printer Mantis that was donated to us from the Mantis company, and we're working with them to expand programming. So this summer, when we have some camps that are going to be going on, students will be able to be exposed to 3D printing. So we're working with the Launchbox at Goggle Works to be able to expand that programming and hopefully be able to do some things on Saturdays, and then open this up as a resource to school teachers with 3D printing that they could do a field trip around that.
Oh, cool. Do you have any printed materials or online materials?
Do you want to speak to the website?
Yes, we do. We do have rack cards available here if anybody would like to stop in and
I think
have
there are
some.
people who are very interested in what can they do to help spread the word. So.
Hi, Jason. So we do have rack cards here available for the actual center and for Sisters in STEM on how to apply to be part of that program. On our website, we have all the information of how to volunteer, how to donate, how to sign up for the Sisters in STEM, and any other volunteer work that we have.
We also have a science at home. So you can sign on, if you're going to our website, there's also an area that if you want to do some science at home with your children, we offer those as options also. So we try to make sure we are giving you a little bit of everything. We also post a lot of what we're doing on social media, so that you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on YouTube, we are on Facebook and TikTok.
So give us some addresses, give us the website address, give us some of those other addresses so people can access you that way.
Yeah, we're gonna type the website in this chat. It is Reading Science Center, all one word, .org. And then if you go to our readingsciencecenter.org main page, there is a tab to take you to the Sisters in STEM page as well.
And when can people show up to get these materials to hand out to people?
We have materials available. They can come during open hours on Saturday from 11 to 5. Otherwise, you can email Lisa or myself and we can put together a time to meet you here at the center.
And I am here Monday through Thursday from 8:30 till at least 2:30 each day. So you can always come in through the main part of the building that we're in. It's where the parapet is. Come in, come take down the elevator to the first floor, and that door is open during the day. And just, I ask you to announce yourself because my office is in the back corner, and I'd be glad to meet and talk with you. Or you can just give the center a call. Our number is 484-878-2112. I'll put that in the box also for you. But we would love to hear from you. Have you here at the center or get to talk to you and talk about ways we can help you and you can help us and, you know, expand STEM learning in the county of Berks.
Great. Jim, do you want to say any final words?
I wanted to mention one thing, something a little unique about a science center and volunteer opportunities. Yeah, obviously, the committees that were mentioned before, we'd love to have people in education come out and help us. We need people just to man the center on Saturdays when we are open, soon to include Tuesdays. But also, we have had some individuals and companies build exhibits for us. And including our Newton's Cradle was built by Vision Mechanical, B&G Glass and Klein Processing Systems, both assisted with a couple of our exhibits. I'm forgetting, Exeter School District, their shop class built our sand pendulum exhibits. So it was a way for us to have a really good impactful number of exhibits right away at a relatively low budget, which is just the nature of being a startup. So we have a few volumes of exhibit instructions, and they have really helped us build exhibits at a relatively low cost. Probably 10 or 12 of our exhibits at the center have been constructed by companies or individuals. So reach out to us if you're handy or know someone who's handy, or if you know a company that has light manufacturing or carpentry capabilities. Tim Daly was on earlier. I'm not sure if you're still on, Tim, but yeah, you are. Your volunteers at Habitat for Humanity built 4 amazing roller ramps for us. It's one of our premier exhibits. So I just wanted to mention that. And you know, in closing, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. We appreciate your support and help us spreading the word about the Reading Science Center. We have a lot of plans for future growth. We want to be probably twice the size and achieve that over the next 5 years, I'd say. So please do help us by, you know, whether it's contributions or volunteering, bringing your kids down or just spreading the word.
And to piggyback on something Jim said, we also partnered with the VOTEC schools, Reading, Muhlenberg VOTEC, and also BCTC, in how we can help the students there. And someone in the chat box asked about Eagle Scouts and projects, also Girl Scouts with their silver pin or gold pin that they're working on. We would love to have them come in. We can meet with them. We're doing some Pinewood Derby here on Saturday morning, where they're coming in to do trials and errors before the kids build their own Pinewoods cars to then enter into the Derby later in February. We've had some scouts, the little guys who have come, and girls who have come in also to the center to look at how they can explore and use the center in earning their badges. So we are open to all of those opportunities.
Good.
And partnerships.
And I saw there were some other people on that I think might have some interest as well. I saw that there were, for instance, people from EnerSys who are doing a lot of interesting scientific research, particularly related to batteries and those kinds of things, and are very interested in having more women be involved in their industry. So I think there's some real opportunities. I don't know if they're still on and want to say anything, but
Well, Dave, I'm going to interject there and tell you that coming on February 12th, we're going to be doing Women in Leadership with NRCIS, and it's a partnership.
oh, great.
We're just
great.
finding, we actually have a meeting tomorrow to finalize those details. So since you mentioned it, I will put that out there today. We are also going to be, we're working on a partnership with PBS and with Speed Pro on some other early learning activities that will be getting announced in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So look for that to come out also.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and team for your presentation. It was really exciting. We're not going to make you do it again, but it was really great. Jim, thank you. And I still remember just watching you unload things off that pickup truck and carrying them down to the basement. So it looks like it's a great reward what you were able to accomplish. So that's really terrific. And I want to thank everybody who joined us today for this event. Hopefully you found it interesting and exciting. I know at least the Hornbergers thought it was good. Let me mention some of the upcoming things that we have soon. We are doing another spotlight on the 27th of January. It's going to focus on the murals of Reading, particularly in West Reading. We're going to have a guided tour of the murals of West Reading. We have a community forum on February 17th. More information will be coming on that, but it's going to be highlighting what we're doing to expand broadband access in Berks County. Very exciting partnership with a whole bunch of groups, including the county, the Why Missing Foundation, United Way, and the Berks Alliance to try to get us where everybody has access to broadband. We're doing another one of these community spotlight series programs on the Camel Project in late February the 23rd, and one on Barrio Alegre's Faro project, which is providing financial incentives for small community development organizations in the city. And we're trying to set up one with the Hargrove Foundation on the report that they did on education, a community forum on that. So I hope more to come. And as John said, we're trying to plan a whole lot of things for this year to try to keep everybody informed and engaged. So again, thank you all. We look forward to seeing you again. Terrific show program and an exciting new opportunity in Berks County and Reading with the Reading Science Center. Thank you, everybody. Ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you very